Hi, and welcome to the Toon Goons, a podcast in which we take an adult and critical perspective into the world of cartoons and animation and analyze how they affect the pop cultural landscape at large. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
I'm Nina.
And I was emotionally compromised alone in a movie theater today.
Were you really by yourself in that theater?
Yeah, at the very end, at the final 10 minutes of the film, this confused family wanders in and immediately leaves. But other than that, I was utterly alone. It was pretty sweet.
That's awesome. I wish I was alone when I saw it.
Oh, I'm so glad I was, because I was by myself. I didn't have a friend to come with. And if there was, two families in there, that would have been horrible.
Two families and one 24-year-old man bawling. We're talking about Inside Out. We didn't mention that. The newest smash hit movie from Pixar that was very, very good. Before we get into that, as always, we're going to do our news, and we've got a lot of news because San Diego Comic-Con just happened. We're not going to dedicate a whole episode to that like we did last year. We're going to try to run through the stuff that's most interesting to us.
Although I'm starting to remember why we did that, because there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's why we did it.
We're going to do some of this. Let's knock some of this shit out quick, but let's start with one of the most interesting things that came out is that we figured out what Bryke are doing next, individually. So now they're Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko.
Yep. No more shorthand.
A lot less fun to say.
Yeah. We'll start with Konietzko's project, which is called Thread Worlds, and it is a graphic novel series about a long origin story of a scientific superhero named Nova. We've seen some art of it. Everybody looks like they're rabbit people. Or something.
He said
kind of animal
it's
people.
It's like a star system or a planetary star system. So there's a bunch of planets orbiting around the same sun or something.
Are you saying it's a sci-fi world with no peoples?
Well, there'll be different kinds of peoples on the different worlds.
I hope none of them are human.
I don't think so. Apparently, Nova's from the least developed planet.
God, I'm so I live for sci-fi worlds with just devoid of human beings because we have human beings here. That's not why I'm into sci-fi. I can go outside and see some schmuck.
Yeah, Star Trek exhausted that, and that's because they didn't have a budget. You can give them a pass. That was 75 years ago.
It's a white man with a weird-shaped nose from White Man with Weird-Shaped Nose Planet. Oh, science fiction perfection. I love Star Trek. But yeah.
I like bunny people-driven sci-fi fantasy, by which I mean I like Cucumber Quest.
Yeah, that made me think of that too.
Yeah, read Cucumber Quest if you aren't. Nina.
Whatever.
Literally 5 minutes before we record this, I was talking to somebody and had an excuse to tell them to read Cucumber Quest.
I haven't been able to get
a lot.
I haven't been able to get Nina to read a webcomic in 7 years.
Nope. Anyway, the first volume is going to be available in 2017.
That's so far away. Who cares?
Yes.
That doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, basically. So, yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it.
It's probably going to stay as a graphic novel. Both DiMartino and Konietzko said they don't want to do a show.
Cartoons are hard. Everyone shut up.
Now, they are going to be hassled about, when are we getting a Thread Worlds cartoon for basically the rest of his life, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, but...
For his sake.
No.
But I am looking forward to this graphic novel coming out, probably 3.5 minutes before the end of the world.
Right.
But, yeah, it's another female-driven thing by him, so he's good at that, so we'll keep an eye on it. The other thing, I don't have this article open right now, is by...
DiMartino.
I may have said DiMartino when I meant Konietzko. Now I'm going to have to start differentiating them.
DiMartino is the bald one.
I don't know what these guys look like.
No? Okay.
They just look like regular dudes.
Yeah, they're pretty regular dudes.
Yeah, I mean, the bald thing is just a quick... whatever. He's working on a series of young adult fantasy novels, or children's fantasy novels, called Geniuses.
As long as they're not babies.
Which will also be published in 2016. Well, no, not this will be a little bit earlier, because I guess it's books. The synopsis, set in a Renaissance-like fantasy world, Geniuses explores the concept of art as magic, where an artist's creative genius is actively a living creature, a real-life muse that inspires and protects him or her. Because the leader of this world sees the genius as a great and dangerous power, anyone with a genius is captured to ensure he or she doesn't become a threat to society. Many have their geniuses destroyed and subsequently become ghosts of their former selves, doomed to live a life without direction, inspiration, original thought. But enter 12-year-old Giacomo. Giacomo. Learn how to harness their genius powers. Before their training is complete, he and his fellow students set off a life-or-death quest. I mean, it's a whole thing. But basically, art is magic. It's kind of based on, like, traditional thinking of what genius was. Originally, it wasn't, like, what you are, but, like, something that you channeled. And he's, like, channeling a lot of Renaissance style, like, scientific illustration and stuff. It looks kind of neat.
Both of these, I can't wait for both of these things.
I know.
Yeah, they seem great.
But we have to.
Yeah, we
have to wait an interminable amount of time.
Yep.
Speaking of shit we've had to wait an interminable amount of time for, we got some details on who's going to be in upcoming episodes of Wander Over Yonder. The big name guest stars are going to be John Hamm and Weird Al Yankovic. Also, Sabrina Carpenter, who's the star of that Girl Meets World show that they actually did make.
Yep.
And a bunch of other people on here who I don't recognize, but I'll read them off anyway because maybe you do. June Squibb, Noel Wells, Callum Worthy, Rob Riggle. I recognize that name. Ken Marino and Andy Daly.
Andy Daly. Oh, I know him. He's a comedian. If it's the same Andy Daly I'm thinking of, he's like a comedian person. He's on podcasts and stuff.
Probably.
Season 2 premieres August 3rd, so coming up pretty quick. Like, that's not too far away.
There's new characters. I think there's
going to be like a mini-series? Like an arc?
Yeah, he says there's going to be an arc and then standalone. It's going to be Standalone Complex Wander Edition.
Cartoons are getting all arcy lately, and I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, comedy cartoons are. Yeah, it's cool. What else we got?
A loot. Our favorite Archie shows, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, well, also regular show. I don't know if that show's an Archie show. I still haven't watched that show. Also, there's
a lot of like callbacks and like continuity, but it's not really arcs.
Okay.
It's not Archie at all, but there's just as much continuity. They just care the least.
Okay. But basically everything has been renewed for another season. So Steven, Adventure Time, regular show, Uncle Grandpa, and Clarence are all returning for additional seasons.
It doesn't say anything about Teen Titans Go, but I presume it is because it seems to be very popular among the target demographic.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't specify if we're talking about an Adventure Time Season 8 or if this is just talking about the Season 7 we already knew. I guess we'll follow up on that.
I think they mentioned it on their blog, but I think it's an extra season. This is like a new thing.
Cut it out.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I love the show, but it can't go forever, and it's been very... We've talked about that 300,000 times. But yeah, everything else getting renewed is good.
Well, I mean, the reason why they're doing it is because all the series are ranked number 1 in their respective time slots among the 6 to 11 kids/boys audience that Cartoon Network goes for.
Yeah, they're crushing it. They're also crushing it in demographics they're not tracking, but whatever.
Yeah. Here's a story that Plarcy sent to us. Thank you, Plarcy. It's about this really cool project. I think we'll take our time with this one because it's kind of neat. Cartoon Network is creating what they're calling Imagination Studios. And beginning this month, which is July, so it's already started, the initiative's going to roll out in Europe, Middle East, Africa, US here, to teach kids 6 to 12 the basics of animation and hopefully inspire and celebrate their imagination and creativity. They're going to offer lessons and activities about drawing, coloring, storyboarding, special effects, music, voiceover, and animation, trying to give kids like a tool set to develop their ideas and become the next generation of creators and animators. Rebecca Sugar and Ben Boccolette, the Amazing World of Gumball guy, are going to actually be participating and helping to give tips and guidance for these various events. It's really cool. Like, it's just like going in and letting kids try this stuff out and see what it is and how they could do it.
It's important to make that stuff accessible, and I think that the current cartoon landscape has made that an inevitability, considering how transparent it is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely.
People understand how cartoons are made more so than they ever have before, and there's still like a lot of misconceptions. We talked about that a lot in our last episode, but you know, everybody. It's so transparent now. A lot of people know everything, and people realize like, oh, this stuff takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. And it's hard. You got to draw like so many drawings.
But like a lot of people don't even realize they can make cartoons until they're an adult, and this will help like give kids the idea that like, hey, I can do this if I want to, you know?
Yeah, that's very important because they see that it's made by people and not something that kind of authors itself.
Right.
Yeah, and also it's important to hook them while they're young, so they don't have to go through like years of like young adulthood of being mediocre at art. Please get that out of the way as soon as possible, or else you'll just feel useless.
Yeah, if you could get your DeviantArt phase out of the way at like 8, you'll be fucking good to go.
Ooh, crush it! Oh man.
I mean, don't join DeviantArt if you're 8 because I'm pretty sure their terms of service don't allow that, but terms of services are unenforceable.
Let me yes, they're not. Unless you, which kids have done, unless you run around the website screaming your age, which for some reason kids do, they won't ban you unless you're that dumb.
Yeah.
I mean,
I saw somebody got banned on Miiverse because they made a Splatoon post that said, "I'm 12 and I love memes," and they're like, "I'm 26, but I got banned."
I mean, it's also important because, like, you know, arts programs are kind of being deprioritized in a lot of places, especially here in this country, and I know we're not the only country where that's the case.
In Reagan's America.
So it's like just the idea of like teaching kids how to like express themselves and create and like have their ideas, because they said that they were inspired by all the fan art and stories ideas that kids would send in to the network, and they were like, man, there's all these cool kids thinking of all these neat ideas. Why don't we like give them the means to make their own stuff or start thinking about making their own things? So I think it's really, really cool.
And it'd also be good to teach them from a young age, like, you can't, to the idea that this is very much a collaborative medium. You can't make cartoons by yourself unless they're 45 seconds long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something good to know. It's something, if you can start developing those teamworking skills early, that's good.
Yeah, and it's also just empowering kids to, like, make something. I can't imagine if I made, like, a 5-second thing, or even if I just made a little flip book of a bouncing ball at a really young age. That would have been so cool for me. That would have made a big impact on my life.
That's cool for me when I do that now.
Yeah, you know? So I
like, I did it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I did the thing. It's so... So... Yay. That's super cool. All right.
A short thing. John C. Reilly said on Twitter that they're doing a Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yep.
Cool. Apparently, it's a thing that Disney's really focusing on, is they want to franchise everything they can that they possibly can, which that'll get bad soon.
Of course.
But,
well, yeah. No. Disney wants to franchise everything?
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, I loved Wreck-It Ralph. I haven't seen it since theaters, but it may actually be my favorite film of the quote-unquote new Renaissance. Either that or BH6.
I prefer BH6. Wreck-It Ralph is good. Hopefully
I've only seen Wreck-It Ralph the one time.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a really simple movie. I remember all of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
like, I just feel like real super. I just feel like it
sequel.
was an interesting concept that they didn't go as far with as they wanted to. So hopefully the sequel does.
Yeah, I mean it's a good setting.
Also, full length AAA Sugar Rush video game racing game. Make it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Speaking of video games, one of our favorite shows is getting a video game. Yeah, Gravity Falls is getting a video game on the 3DS called Legend of the Gnome Gemulets. It looks like kind of like an action platformer thing. There's like tasks. I mean, I'm looking at the bottom screen, like you have like your own journal and things seem to be like task based. I'm not quite sure. I mean, obviously you're just solving mysteries. Like, I mean, it's Gravity Falls. You're going to go to quirky places. But you play as both Dipper and Mabel. And you might be able to switch between the two. So far, I'm only seeing Dipper in the front in this trailer. It would be cool if it was kind of like a Donkey Kong thing where you could go back and forth. Oh, yeah.
Or Mario and Luigi.
Oh, no, you can, because Mabel uses the grappling hook sometimes. So, like, each one has their
I was
going to
say, it just made me want to draw them just as the ice climbers.
Yeah! Yeah, it's like them as the ice climbers, but it's like a platforming kind of world, and there's mystery, I guess. It's cute looking. I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope it's on this par with the first Adventure Time game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was shooting for. That's probably going to be on par with that. Not so much the Steven Universe game.
We can't ask for that. We can't ask for any game to be that good.
No, we weren't asking for that. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
unprecedented.
That game was unreasonably good. Yeah. One other Break thing that we forgot to mention, and this one is Break related, is that we did get confirmation of Dark Horse: A Legend of Korra comics. Yes. And the first thing is going to be about Korra and Asami in the spirit world. So that gross thing I said back in December is going to happen.
Live in front of your eyeballs. They don't give a fuck.
I mean, I am curious to see how their vacation is going to go, because Asami's never experienced that shit.
I want it to be so low impact. I just want them to have a good time.
Me too. They deserve it. I want them to have a nice vacation.
When I first came up with my idea, when we thought that, like, hey, let's show like a plot of them in the going on vacation in the spirit world. What if frickin' like Bolin shows up and it's a double date and it's like a National Lampoon Vacation type situation and it's shenanigans? I would like that.
Or it's like they keep trying to get time alone, but Iroh keeps showing up. Was like, yeah, did I tell you the story about that time I was cool?
you guys want some tea? I don't sound different.
You sound different. Fuck you.
And then we got
yeah. So really looking forward to that. Do we know when that's coming out?
No, I don't have the article in front of me.
I'm gonna get like high res scans of every panel they kiss in and just like plaster them all over the place.
Tattoo.
Yes, sure.
Tattoo. Okay, 2 trailers we can talk about. I guess we can finish up with these 2 trailers. First up, if we have the next Nickelodeon venture. Nickelodeon's trying to make a comeback, with Harvey and now Rocket Dog, and I think there was something else.
TMNT.
TMNT. TMNT's been their saving grace this dark time. But yeah, it's a show called Pig, Goat, Banana, Cricket. It's going to premiere this month in July, I believe at the end of the Kids' Choice Award or something. No, I'm wrong. It's premiering Saturday, July 18th at 10:30 a.m.
So very close to when this will come out. 10:30 a.m. I won't see it. I'll be at work.
Yeah.
I'll be at work or asleep.
It's the people responsible for it are Dave Cooper from Futurama, Johnny Ryan from Mad Magazine and DC Comics, and then executive producer David Sachs, who worked on The Simpsons. Show follows 4 friends, Pig, Goat, Banana, and Cricket, in Boo Polite City, a gigantic, fantastical metropolis where the sidewalks are crammed with animals, robots, walking fruit, and sea creatures. The quadra roommates in a treehouse which sits in the middle of the city, surrounded by forests, seas, and everywhere the foursome could possibly go.
There's a sneak peek that they released of an episode called Fudge Apocalypse, and I watched it, and I wasn't super impressed by it, to be honest. It seemed okay. Maybe it's just shooting for a younger sensibility than what I can handle, which is fine. It is going for there's a bit of like a golden age aesthetic in there.
Definitely.
Like the idea of like, everything's constantly moving, like they say with the sidewalks and everything. And it's called Boopolite City. So that's Golden Age stuff.
Just in like the caricatures and like their facial expressions and whatnot, I can also definitely see like the you said one of them worked for like Mad Magazine at some point or something like that.
Yes, one of the co-creators.
Oh yeah,
I can absolutely see that, and I guess like just in terms of like the tone, it just seems I guess it's probably not a direct parallel, but like Uncle Grandpa-y, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess they're trying to go for that general aesthetic.
Yeah, Cooper said that everything is for the sake of comedy. They're just trying to make a really, really funny show. I mean, that's fine. Laughter is wonderful.
Yeah. And
it's 2015. Cartoons make you cry now. Get with the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think
we'll see.
Kids might like it. I don't know. Like,
that's what ultimately matters.
Yeah, really, that's all that matters.
It doesn't matter that much if these three pretentious fucks trying to use their college degrees, one of whom didn't complete it, to talk about cartoon. Like, who cares if we like it or not?
I mean,
well, I guess you guys do.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of old school Nicktoons, sort of like Angry Beavers kind of stuff, where you have like these roommates and their crazy antics and their silly cartoon adventures. Like, that's good stuff. It's fun. There's a place for it, and I don't know. I'll check it out.
Yeah. And speaking of silly cartoon adventures, the other trailer is not that. We saw the trailer for Vixen, an animated series that takes place in the Arrow Flashiverse. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it should be.
The CW DC TV show universe.
What I said was
it's
so
called the
better.
DCW verse. There you go.
Okay,
that's the dumbest one, and it's the real one. Okay, I'll bite.
Yeah,
I don't watch either of those shows.
Trailer looked very, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know the tone of the other two shows because they're not
They're
cartoons, and I don't have time for anything that's not a cartoon.
Well,
or
I mean,
Broad City.
look, of course it's going to be serious. It's on the CW, and it's DC. And it seems like they're trying to make a cartoon for adults, quote. You know, not in the sense that they're trying not to make it specifically for kids. I'm kind of curious. I mean, the art director is the guy who did Young Justice. So
it looks great.
It looks like Young Justice.
Like
it looks
visually,
wonderful.
It looks great. Yeah. And
Vixen, if you don't know, she was in Justice League in some of the later seasons.
She was in Unlimited, voiced by Gina Torres. Here she's played by Megalyn Echikunwoke. So it sounds like they got somebody who is African. That's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
We'll learn to pronounce your name. We're sorry.
Yeah.
And then, Flash and Arrow's going to be voiced by the live action dudes. Oh, it's a web series. Will consist of 6 30-minute episodes on CW Seed. Short premise.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be on TV. Okay, well then. Short premise, if you don't know anything about Vixen. Originally from Africa, Marie Macabre's parents were killed by local greed, corruption, and wanton violence, but the orphan Mary refused to succumb to the terrors surrounding her. I don't know if it's Mary or Marie or Madi or what.
In the trailer, they just said McCabe.
Yeah, they just said McCabe. Inheriting her family's Tantu totem, Marie can access the powers of animals, anything from super strength of a gorilla to the speed of a cheetah. As Vixen, she fights valiantly to protect the world from threats like those that claimed her family. Her power set's pretty cool. I mean, she just, touches the necklace she's wearing, and she could just be like, I'm strong like gorilla now, or I can withstand a fall like a spider now, or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Sounds cool.
She's cool.
Yeah, it's going to drop on the 25th of August, so we'll check it out.
Definitely.
If it's online, it'll be pretty easy to see. And we're making... That's everything we had queued up, but we're making pretty good time. One thing I do want to talk about that we saw... that Tush and I saw at Anime Expo in Los Angeles last week was... There's a lot of stuff that we would like to talk about, and maybe we'll put some of that at the end, depending on how we're doing. But I want to talk some more about Cannon Busters.
Yes.
Hells to the yeah.
We saw the Cannon Busters panel hosted by LaShawn Thomas and Thomas Romaine, who is co-developing the series with him. I'm not sure what his official title is, but he's got his hands pretty deep in that pie.
Executive Frenchman.
Thomas and Thomas.
Yes. He made that joke too. It's like, I was interested in his work and his name. It was a very, very interesting panel about what they're trying to do with the show. A lot of their philosophies. A lot of LaShawn Thomas's design philosophies, I feel really sync up with myself. Like they're going through different stages of concept art for the main characters. Because Cannon Busters was a comic that he did like early 2000s that he put aside to. He said he got a call from Aaron Magruder to work on the Boondocks, so that took priority, and then he's been in animation ever since.
Yeah.
But so the character designs have evolved a lot from then, and we're going through all the processes, and he's like getting stuff back from Thomas Romaine or this guy from Gynax or Joe Mad, who's a comic books guy, and he's like there's a lot of stuff I like in here. This would be good for like another kind of character, another kind of setting. Can you put a shirt on her, please?
Yeah.
Can you make the boobs a little smaller? This is not what I'm going for. And I'm like, I like this.
Yeah, it was a really great time.
It looks awesome. Like on the 6th, which was around that weekend, they did a Kickstarter update with a lot of the concept art, so I got to see it too because I'm a backer. Whenever the hell it comes out, I'll be the first one to have it on digital.
Now they said they want to have their pilot out by the end of the year, and they said that they're like on track for that, but we'll see. I mean, it's animation; it's hard.
They also said they got back one of the final character designs 3 days ago. So
yeah. So
yeah, I'm like that doesn't sound like it matches up with what you guys were saying with the continuous redesign.
Maybe they're just gonna like slam jam it like the second they finish character design.
There's no way. Look how these characters are way too detailed. You can't get lazy with this shit. The backgrounds, like, no.
I don't know,
man. He said that the voice cast is going to be mostly unknowns. Like one of the main characters, Philly the Kid, like he got a lot of feedback saying like, "Oh, this looks like a Steve Bloom character," and it does. But he's like, I don't want to do Steve Bloom because like he's already been in a lot of stuff. I want to give like another guy a chance. So there's a buddy of his, Felipe something, who's
awesome. He's also a comics guy. He worked on the all new Ghost Rider, which was awesome.
Oh fuck!
He's also He's also one of the first guys. He's the first American to actually have written manga in Japan and get it published for a Japanese audience.
He's living the DeviantArt dream.
Yeah, and apparently he's got just a really strange voice, like weird stacked accents.
Can't wait.
I like that descriptor. Stacked accents.
Stack sense.
It's a good album name.
He drives an enormous car that's like the size of 2 tanks, but it's like Wario's car. It's great,
and it transforms into like a bull thing.
Yeah,
it transforms into a bull.
Yeah, the sculpture of that bull thing was like one of the big things you could get if you were one of the mega backers.
Oh my god,
Bessie, I think.
Bessie,
yes.
Yeah. And he showed like these bounty hunters that are all like scorpion themed. The aesthetic is right up my alley.
So cool. I'm looking at this one dude. He has like prosthetic legs that split apart to be like bug legs. It's like
yes.
This is so cool.
Yeah, it's like a band of bounty hunters, and each of them has a different scorpion part. I love it. I'm really excited for this show.
Oh man, me too. Oh boy.
So yeah, keep an eye on that. Definitely keep an eye on that. And then one other brief thing, we saw the Titmouse panel. They showed some stuff from a show coming out soon called Moonbeam City, which looks like Archer meets Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks pretty silly.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. It's an aesthetic that I've recently come up with a name for that I've realized I've been into for a while, which I call more 80s than 80s.
Yeah.
It's stuff like Hotline Miami or The Proto-Men or Far Cry Blood Dragon, or basically anything that's like an 80s throwback, which is so much more 80s than the 80s actually were.
Like dirty neon.
Dirty neon, exactly. Dirty neon and holding down every key on a synth.
Yeah.
Did they show anything else at the at Titmouse?
They had that one lady who was just drawing on the big screen all day and making silly doodles about whatever they were talking about. That was pretty great. I'll watch a show of just that.
Yeah. That should be like the new like the shitty thing VH1 does where it's like some dipshits are talking over a music video. It'd be better if it's just like some cute cartoonist drawing little blob people.
Yeah, I feel like real cartoonists would immediately sign up for that. Like I feel like Penn Ward would do that. Just doodle on sticky notes all day, and just all of them would just be like various characters farting.
That's what they already do and put on their Twitters.
Exactly,
yeah,
but this would be on the TV.
Like, just like shrink down an episode of Bob's Burgers a bit and have like a bunch of storyboard artists from Adventure Time and Steven Universe doodle all over it. Like I will flesh out so much money to see that.
Yes.
That's it for news right now. Probably going to be some more stuff out of San Diego that we'll talk about later, but those were the things that were most interesting to us at this time.
Yeah, we're not going to cover each panel individually. Like, these shows are coming back real soon, you guys. Like, we can wait. Fucking... The Steven Universe... People already leaked all that shit from the Steven Universe panels, and it's like, guys, it's airing in... a day. Like,
can you guys be cool? Like, Ian J asked you not to, and you did it.
Yeah, I was afraid to look up what the literal gemmed sardonyx looked like for fear of finding spoilers.
Yeah.
I am lucky I managed to scroll past stuff fast enough to not really retain a lot of hard imagery, so this was all mostly fresh for me.
It wasn't for me.
We're going to talk about the first episode of Stephen Baum at the end of this, because it aired today.
But first, people listening to this who have already watched the whole thing, I am past jealous of you.
But first, let's have a bomb of our own, an emotional bomb. The movie.
That's a good gway. That's what I'm going to call segues now. They're gways.
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 Isn't that already a slang for something else?
There's that driving app called Waze.
Gway, like that. Gway, like that. It's like a Mexican, like Latino
like
thing.
Cholo thing. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that.
Or Chicano.
Tooch and I drank at a bar called El Cholo a lot in Los Angeles. They had Dos Equis on tap, when we had to get
it was our saving grace.
The fuck out of the con,
and we did.